Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Lytle, and I want to, can you check now? Can you open up the question area and let me know if you can hear me? If someone can open that area of GoToMeeting. It still doesn't, oh, perfect. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Great. Okay, everyone. My name is Lori Lytle, and I'll be hosting our Mortgage Coach Edge. You can? I have a couple people saying they can. So sorry about that. What we're going to do today is create a total cost analysis on an FHA and a VA, or FHA and conventional transaction. And the reason why we picked these two products is when we go into Edge, we'll be able to show you how you'll be able to create defaults for the FHA product. You can create them along with me. And on the conventional, the same type of thing. And we'll also dive into the fee templates. So before we do that, I just want to ask a couple poll questions. So Marcy, if you can help me out here. The poll questions I would like to ask is, first, have you had a chance to get into Edge? So Marcy, if you could go ahead and bring up that poll question. Oh, you can't hear me now, Tracy? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we got the, oh, no, probably that you haven't been into Edge. Okay, so we're getting our poll question up, and almost everyone, we got everyone to, okay, so we have 58% of you have not created a report, so that's great. So this is the perfect training class for you. So now we're going to go ahead and close out that poll, and we're going to go ahead and launch our next poll about the mobile app. Have you been able to download the mobile app? So let's go ahead and bring up that poll question, and then we'll go ahead and start our training. Okay, about the same spot. So we have 58% saying, wait, poll closed. Okay, here's our poll question about the app. Sorry about that. So if you could go ahead and respond if you have downloaded the app. We'll probably start with that. So if you have a mobile device, go ahead and grab that while we're finishing up this poll. Great. So right now, a couple more votes, and then we'll be set. A couple more. Okay. So right now, we have about a little over half of you have not downloaded the mobile app. So perfect. We'll go ahead and do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close out our poll, and let's start training. So already some of you have the question area open, so make sure you have your questions open and ask any question as we move along. So what I'm going to do first is let's start with the mobile app. So what I want to do is I'm bringing up my reflector, which will be able to show you my iPad. So what we're going to do first is to be able to download this app. What I want you to do is go to your app store. So I'm going to go to my app store, and you see I'm doing a search for Mortgage Coach. So once I put in my search for Mortgage Coach and press return, you're going to see two apps for downloading. You'll have the Rate Watch app that will provide you the mortgage-backed securities. You could set up rate alerts and items like that. So make sure you download that on your mobile device. And then we have the Mortgage Coach Viewer. This allows borrowers to be able to view the report at any place. So if they're not at a desktop, they'll be able to view it on their mobile phone. So I would like you all to download the Mortgage Coach app, and then afterwards come back and download the Rate Watch app. Oh, you still have a quick poll on your screen? Okay, let me see if I could get rid of that. Okay, just one moment. Okay, let me get rid of this quick poll. Just one moment, everyone. Sorry about that. Okay, everyone, let's start again. So, with your mobile device, go ahead and go to your app store, and you want to do a search for Mortgage Coach. And with that search, as I said, you have the Rate Watch mobile app to go ahead and download, and you have the Mortgage Coach viewer. So right now, I'd like you to download the Mortgage Coach viewer, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to provide you a link so you can follow along with me. So go ahead and plus that, download it. And then what I would like you to do is, here's my Mortgage Coach app here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into it, and I would like you to do so as well. And the next thing I would like to do is go ahead and view our report. So what I'm going to do is just bring this over slightly. And on this total cost analysis that you're seeing here, one of the items I wanted to point out is a link. And when we send the report out, it's by a link. And we'll be showing you how to grab these when we create a report. But in the lower right-hand corner, there's a share button. And with that, there's the link ID right here. And it's so easy to be able to grab. So what I'm going to do is, with the link, what you could do is click on the link and be able to just drive it, click on it and be able to open the report itself. Or you could go ahead and type it in like I'm going to show you. I've also placed this same link into the chat box. So if you have a link ID, you don't have to key everything in, just this little number.
They're still seeing the poll results for some reason.
Just one moment, everyone.
Hey everybody, could you weigh in real quick and just let us know if you're still seeing the poll results or if you're actually seeing the computer screen now? It looks like we ran into a little problem with GoToMeeting, so we stopped the screen share and then started it back up. Okay, we're showing the right thing. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. And Chrissy, thank you. All right, Lori, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Okay, let's start again. Okay, now that you can see the screen. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back out and let's go to our App Store. And as I had mentioned, we have the search for Mortgage Coach. BlackBerry users, not yet. We haven't developed an app for our BlackBerry. We have it for the iOS device as well as Android. And we're getting ready right now to do it on the Kindle Fire. So right now those are the 3 apps that we have. So, okay. So with that, go ahead and do a search. Here's our Rate Watch app. This is what you'll see. Download that, and you'll be able to track the mortgage-backed securities. And, you know, Donna, why don't you email us at the end of the call or at any time, support@mortgagecoach.com. They'll be able to provide you a little bit more information about the BlackBerry. So, download the Mortgage Coach app. This is for the viewer. And then once you have the mortgage app downloaded, this is what it will look like. This is your icon. And as I had mentioned before, now that you can see my screen, in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the share button. And with that share button, it provides the link to this report, this unique link. So with that, what I'm going to do, if a borrower clicks that link or you click the link, and it's also in the chat box, it automatically opens the report. But if you want to be able to just type it in, I'm just typing in this last bit of the number. So let's go ahead and type that in. It's 16H21Z. So you can see how I only need to put in that last part of the number to access my report. Before we dive into this report, this button here also provides you a history of the different links that you have viewed. So you can see down below all the different links. We also have a quick tour if you want to be able to see that, as well as a sample TCA. So you have a couple items, if you're new to the app, you'll be able to view. So now once I'm done entering my ID number here, you want to go ahead and click on that arrow, and that brings up the report. And then remember, always, if you click on the link, it automatically opens. So this is what a borrower first sees. They're going to have this disclosure text. So they'll be able to say, I understand, and now they're into the mobile device. So what I would like to do first is to go through the report. So understand the report a little bit. So this way you'll know what we're going to be creating when we go into our data entry screens. So what I'm going to do is to first discuss our summary section in the upper left-hand corner. You can see on the app, it's the first box here to go into. And with that in the summary area, you have your quote date. You have all the basic information, loan amount, rate, APR, and term. If you're currently working with a borrower, you're using email or Excel, this has all that information right here in that summary section. You also have the information for their cash to close. You have the payment stream for an FHA, so you can see that declining MI. And also their freedom point. We do have a reinvestment strategy where they can apply additional principles, so we also have that aspect. You'll notice down with the mobile app, anytime I do highlighting or driving into the report, it is also moving the mobile app. That's what the Edge Live is to be able to drive the presentation for the borrower. So currently there's 12 of you viewing this report, and if you look at that lower left-hand corner, it tells me how many people are viewing this report. I have it open once, plus 12 other people. So this is a way to be able to, for you to know if the borrower is on the report with you when you're reaching out and speaking with them. So that's a nice little bit right here. So going back to that summary section here, we have a more info button. So when you click on that more info button, you can see on the app you have a payment breakdown, closing costs, and reinvestment. These three tabs are located in that more info button. When you dive into here, you can see how you have your payment stream. And if you notice, I'm doing a lot of highlighting, and all I'm doing is taking my mouse over the field and doing a left click. When we're done with this on okay, Tracy is mentioning that the you don't see any highlights. You should, like on my mobile app, you see how I'm highlighting it, highlights here as well. It won't highlight the labels like I'm doing over on the desktop. Okay, great, you got to see it now. So you have your payment breakdown, so you'll be able to talk about those monthly costs. You also have your closing costs, your fees. So we have the down payment if it's a purchase, or the equity if it's a refi, your LTV percentage, lump summing the fees, APR, non-APR fees, your points, your upfront premium, and then we have fee details. So in that fee details, you'll have a list of all your fees, and this is what we're going to learn to create is fee templates. And what I would like to do is, for those, go ahead and raise your hand. Let me know if you're on an enterprise account. And an enterprise account is an account where we have a contract set up with your company. And with those enterprise accounts, you possibly have fee templates. Okay, we do have a couple people on there. Okay, so I'm going to address a couple things when we go through the training on how you can be able to use what's provided to you and build out additional templates. But you can see how with the fees, see how I'm highlighting it if I'm talking about the reserves. You can keep continue that conversation with the borrower and be able to follow along. Then we have a reinvestment strategy screen that we're going to touch on just briefly, but we have a great video tutorial to be able to show you how you can apply monthly additional money to principal, as well as investing it into a savings or an investment account. So we have that information that you'll be able to use your report. Monthly payment savings in the upper right-hand corner is the one on the upper right on the mobile device. Again, it's just the difference in the monthly savings. The FHA is the highest payment, meaning there's no graph. The conventional product is saving $82 over that FHA monthly payment. And then when you dive into the more info, you just have information about that monthly payment. And if you had a second lien, that data will also go ahead and appear as well right below. Now moving on, we're going to go into the lower left-hand corner, which is our short-term savings. So what this provides you is the unrecoverable cost. Again, you have no graph, and the conventional savings, almost $7,000 over that FHA. Now if you dive into that More Info button, you'll be able to see what that information is comprised of. So what we do is we add the interest and mortgage insurance over that 60-month period. Then we add the closing costs and points to that figure. Once we total those, that's your total cost. Those are the total unrecoverable costs of the loans, and that's what we do our comparison on. So even though it's a monthly payment, this gives a little more of a longer-term approach on which loan scenario saves them the most money. And lastly, we come to our lower left-hand corner. It's currently showing principal paid. We have options for interest and MI as well as net worth. And then you just dive into the More Info button here, and you can see a lot of details. You have your home value if you're using the property appreciation rate. You have the loan balance at the end of that 5-year period, the equity they have in the home, total principals they paid, as well as that total pity. So you got a lot of details in that one corner. So with that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and move away my mobile device, and let's go ahead and dive into Edge and create this report. So we want to log into edge.mortgagecoach.com, put in your email address as well as your password. If you're not quite sure of your password or need it reset, you can email us at support, which is support@mortgagecoach.com, and we'll happy get that and assist you with it. So this is your home screen in Edge. With that, the upper area here, this is our client-facing reports. This is the TCA, the total cost analysis, as well as a rent versus own report. In the lower half, we have our partner section. This is where you create the open house flyer and seller buy downs. We are going to create a client-facing report, but all the functions we're going to learn today can also be used with your partners. Now going up to the top, if you wanted to start a new report, you would click on Start New Client or Start New Partner. We're going to go into our settings at the very end of the call. This is where all your contact information is, as well as where you upload your image and logo. And then we also have our Help button. And if you click on that, it will take you to an additional page where it hosts all our video tutorials. We'll talk about this in a little bit toward the end of the call, but I wanted to let you know that Help button will take you over to provide some assistance for you. So now let's dive into creating the report. So we want to go ahead and click on New Client, and that starts our process off. We have 8 widgets, screens to go through right here, and the first 4, just to let you know, is just data collection. I'm going to go ahead and explain quite a few of those fields, but I'll also explain what ones are necessary for the report so it can get you through quicker. So with this, what we want to do is let's go ahead, and I'm placing in just the name Sammy Sample. I don't have a co-borrow, but if you do, go ahead and place that information in. I'm going to go ahead and place in a phone number. If you place in this phone number, it will appear on your email alert, and I'll show you an example of one of those shortly. Does she rent or own? This actually is a question on the report style. Do you want a total cost analysis? If so, mark it own. If you want the rent versus own report, mark it rent. The difference between these two, you can actually have one record, one data file, and produce both of those reports. So if you have one of those first-time home buyers, it might be good to send them the rent versus own so they'd be able to see the advantages of owning a home versus renting. But the TCA, which is the report we had just seen, has so much detail and be able to provide all those loan products as well. You can capture your referral as well as a partner email address. With the partner email address will allow an email alert be sent to that particular person. And with that, just one moment, let me get my email alert. And with that, you would be able to go ahead and, here it is, just one moment. There we go. This is an example of an email alert. What this will do is anytime a report closes, you're going to get an email alert letting you know someone's viewed the report. It gives the borrower's name, how long they viewed it. You'd be able to click here to be able to see the presentation. If you enter that phone number, it will appear here as well. So this is the time once you receive an email alert, this is when you want to reach out to the borrower, be able to answer any type of questions. So that's your email alert, and if you want to have it sent to a partner or an assistant, go ahead and place their email address in here, and I'll show you in our presentation screen how you can send that email alert to that person. And then lastly on the screen is our friendly name field, which is a reference field. We do have a copy function, so you'd be able to use this as your identifier of your particular file. So coming through here, even though we filled all this information in, technically just you can put a first name, last name, and I like to be able to have a friendly name field. And that's really all that you need to have on this screen. If you're in the notes over on the lower left-hand corner, you can place any kind of notes here, and you can see as I advance my screen, those notes carry with you. So this is a great way to do any kind of follow-up or place notes about the client itself. Now we're in our goals. We are doing a purchase transaction, so I want to mark it as purchase a new home. Technically, yes, Tracy, no one sees these notes in the lower left-hand corner. This is only internal into your account, so yes, you're correct. The other items here are for refinances, and as you're going through it, you can see how a lot of these are conversations. So if you're doing this first time with the borrower on the phone, you can mark this and gather all your information. But if you're flying through, the only thing you need to do on a goal section, mark a purchase if it's a purchase, and then move on. You'll notice that I keep moving left and right with these arrows. Every time I do so, it saves my data. So always remember, if you modify your screen, move to a different screen, and that will save your data. Now I'm coming through in here, and I'm going to place in our sales price of $250,000. This also is the property value if you're doing a refinance. And the one thing I want to do here is show you what these red fields do. I just cleared out my purchase price. When I advance my screen, you'll notice that I have an exclamation mark right at the base. That exclamation mark is telling me I'm missing some data that's marked red. Please go check it out. And in this particular case, I just don't have my sales price. So I want to let you know what that exclamation mark is. Just more or less, hey, go check out that field. Your data's empty. So have that there. Refinance transactions, we do collect additional information. We do have our trainings on training Thursdays at 9 o'clock, and a lot of times we cover different scenarios, and refinances is one of the topics we do cover on that. Affordability, if you want to move through Edge quickly to generate a report, you can bypass this screen and go directly to your products. But I'm going to show you, because this is our intro class, I want to show you everything that Edge can do for you. So say we had a current income of $95,000. Credit status was good. And then they have non-mortgage debt, say, of $500. What this is going to do is provide us our DTI when we get to our product. We don't run credit, so it's just, if you receive that information from the borrower and want to keep it in your database, go ahead and mark it and have that saved. Next, we come to the savings balance. In this area, what you would have is, I'm going to go ahead and place in $25,000 at a nominal 0.25 rate. What this is going to do is, in the analysis screen in our reinvestment strategy, it starts with a balance. And this is where the cash to close comes into play. So if they tell you how much money they have, you can place it in here. And when we get to the analysis screen, I'll show you how it'll show if they have enough money for that cash to close. If you want to show a tax benefit, you could go ahead and indicate the tax bracket. And if you're not quite sure, we have a button here that will take you to a web page that would assist you in getting that percentage. Next, we have a tax credit button. So if you're doing MCC credits, it's a great way to show a product one with and one without. So you'll be able to fill in the information here and provide loan scenarios with the MCC credit. Moving on, this is just straight data collection conversation. So in this particular case, I'm just bypassing this screen and going directly to my products. So these first four screens, all you need to do is put in a name and a friendly name. Goals, I marked to purchase. Assumptions, I put in my sales property amount or sales price. And then technically I could go directly to products. So don't let it be intimidating. There's only like 4 fields you have to fill out before getting to your products. So now what I want you to do is definitely follow along when we go into this, and we're developing our templates so you will have these for future reports. So let's place in a title. We're going to develop our FHA product first. And in my title, it has to be 12 characters max. So I'm just putting in 3.5%, 5% down. It's not a refinance. And for those of you who are mentioning that you're on an enterprise account, you might see some product templates already here. If you do, go ahead and select your FHA product and bring it over. And for those of you who do not have anything listed here, that's what we're going to develop. So that's what we're working on right now. Next drop down is for upfront premium. You do have the option for FHA, VA, and USDA, but we also have single premium here if you're doing borrower paid MI. So I want to point that out. We're going to select FHA. Let's put in our purchase price of $250,000. And then for the down payment, you could put the dollar amount or click on that percentage, and it will open up that percentage field. And I'm going to go ahead and put in 3.5% down. My interest rate is 4%, and my term is 360. So in the screen, you're going to have the defaults of FHA, 3.5% down, and the term. So all you'll have to do is put in a title and put in your rate. Now, as I move to the right, what I wanted you to do is take note of this upper right-hand corner. We're starting to generate our graphs. Right now it's straight P&I payment because we haven't gotten to the monthly costs yet. Down at the very bottom you have your upfront MI. So if you click on that percentage button, let's go ahead and place 1.75. I press return, and I want to add it to my loan amount. And this is part of your default as well. I'm going to go ahead and put in 15 days prepaid interest. Find out what is your company's estimate. 15, 30 days is what I normally see. And place that in there. And you can see when you hover your mouse over it, you have a dollar amount. So I want to be able to point that out. Points or rebates, you can also put in a percentage field as well. And you have your rebate amount there. So have that, or your point field. So with fees, you can either lump sum them, as I'm doing right here, or you'd be able to go ahead and itemize it. And that's what we're going to work on now. What I want you to do is click on the closing cost details, and let's build a fee template. If you're on an enterprise account, you would want to pick your state and see if you have any fee templates. If you don't have any fee templates, go back and remove the state and then see if you have any fee templates. When we get to the conventional, I will show you how to pull a template and modify it to make it your own. Right now, I'm going to start from scratch. You'll notice the blue bar toward the middle bottom. It will provide our dollar amount for the prepaid interest, and that starts off our borrower paid costs. I'll be able to show you how to identify borrower, lender, or seller paid. And then we have our 2 green buttons. We have add fee and add custom fee. So what we'll do in creating this fee template is I'm going to show you how to create an APR, non-APR fee, a custom fee, and then we'll talk about contributions. Best way to start for your fee template is just printing a fee sheet from your LOS system. This should provide you all the descriptions as well as the dollar amount and if your fee is an APR fee. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Fee. I'm doing it twice just so I have a couple line items up. And the first fee I want to select is Processing Fee. So I type the letter P, drops me to the P's, and I select Processing and put in my dollar amount, and I marked it APR. It's that simple. It's very basic. So now let's go ahead and place a non-APR fee, which a good one is appraisal, and place in that amount. So you can see how easy it is just doing a processing as well as an APR fee and a non-APR fee. If you're doing an refinance and want to add it to the loan amount, you have a column here to mark, and it'll add the fee to the loan amount. Also want to point out, add all fees to loan, so you have that box there to make it easy to do it all at once. Okay, so now let's work on a custom fee. So say you didn't have your fee description that you wanted to use. Not a problem, we have add custom fee. This is where you go ahead and put the label of whatever your fee is. I'm just going to go ahead and put custom fee. Very original. We have a percentage field as well as a dollar amount. So if you're using a percentage field, you can have it go off the loan amount or the sales price. So either or if you're working with doc stamps and developing those templates out. You can also default it as an APR or a non-APR fee. Once I press OK, your custom fee is now in your drop-down and will always be there for any future template you build. So let's go ahead and put in that dollar amount here, and I'm leaving it non-APR. So now the next type of fee that we have in here is a contribution. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Fee again. And in our drop-down, I type the letter C, and I'm looking for the field labeled Contribution. We have logic behind this, meaning if I went ahead and put in a $500 contribution, take note of the borrower paid fees of $18.73. As soon as I press return, it decreases that dollar amount. It then says paid by, it is marked lender, and you can identify if the seller is going to pay that fee. So that's a quick way of doing a contribution. Sometimes people want to have their own label, and that's fine, but you have to work things a little backward because there is no logic. So by doing so, I could create custom fee and say it's earnest money. It's not a cost to a loan, so I want to mark it prepaid. So any item that is not a fee or cost a loan, you want to mark it PPE, which is prepaid escrow. It removes it from that short-term savings on costs. So that's the reason why I had marked it. And then you have that as well. So, but with it, there's no logic. So I want to put in a negative 500. So you'll see we're at 1373. It now drops at 500. But to offset the borrower fees, you have to keep it paid by the borrower. So I wanted to point that out to you. So those are two ways to be able to do a contribution within Edge. To remove any fees, you'll see the trash can. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that earnest money, and you can see how it's removed from my template. Now let's save this, and this will be your first basic template. The settings area is a place where you can modify your templates as well as do a quick copy if you're developing more than one fee template. So let's save as a template, and I'm just going to say FHA fees. And you don't have to do this, but I'm placing in the date just so you can see that this is the template I created today. If you originate in multiple states, you want to go ahead and identify the state that you're doing business in or that fee template's for. Then I press OK, and now you'll notice in my drop-down you have your first fee template. You also can delete any fee templates, again, in that settings area in the fee template tab. So once you're done, we saved it as a template. We want to apply our fees to the loan. It then totals up all the fees and grays out the areas on the face of the screen here. If you want to make any modifications, you would need to go into the closing cost details and make those changes. Apply it to the loan, and it'll update these figures. Now the last screen we're going to go through is our monthly costs. When we create our conventional product, it's going to go a lot quicker through this because we don't have to explain all these fields. So now with the monthly cost, you can always put it as an estimate as a dollar amount, or just open up all these percentage fields and you can place in a percentage. This is also part of your defaults that you can create. Next, I'm going to go ahead for mortgage insurance. Let's put in our MI factor of 0.85. Then you have calc MI on balance. On FHA and USDA products, mark this. It provides the declining MI balance. And you want to place 360 in the MI cutoff month. This is telling us that our MI is going to carry for the life of the loan. When we get to conventional product, I'll explain these two fields a little bit further. Now lastly, let's put in our reserves. 2 months hazard, 4 months taxes, and then I'm going to go ahead and collect the 12 months premium. So with this, all these fields will be defaulted for you. If you pull down an enterprise template, product template, and these fields are already filled out for you, but yours are different, that's fine. You can create an additional fee template for yourself. And everyone else, if this is your first template, you'll see at the very bottom the button Save as Template. If you go ahead and save it, you'll see it bring up your product description. You can override it or keep it at that. For my purposes, I am putting in today's date. Well, I'm trying to. There we go. So you can see it when we go into our drop downs. I press OK, and that's the first template saved. Now we want to add another product. So let's click on the green button, lower right, add another product, and let's start this process over again. So I'm going to do a conventional product, 5% down. My purchase price is $250,000. Clicking on the percentage, and let's put in 5% down, 4.25 and 360 term. So if you go ahead and finish filling out that information, and if you're on an enterprise account, you can always pull down and see if you have a conventional product in your list. Also, for all of those who just created their first product, you'll see your template in that drop-down. Let's move on. You'll see that the graph is now being built to the right. Let's place our 15 days prepaid interest. You'll notice the upfront MIP has been removed because we didn't mark it as an FHA. And now let's go into our closing cost details. So for those of you who are an enterprise account or those who had initially already set up one fee template, this is how you create the second one, and it'll go much quicker. First, go into your templates. I'm bringing in my template I just created. You'll see this is how it goes ahead and maps down, and then all I have to do is modify it. So say on this particular one I have a tax service, so I'm going to go into my list and add a tax service fee and mark it APR. You can modify dollar amounts. My appraisal fee might only be $450. So this is how you start with a template and modify it for your next product. Instead of recreating the wheel, you're starting with a base. So once you're done making all your updates and modifications, you want to save your new template. And anytime you modify your fees, always save it as a template so you'll be able to just move faster through Edge. So let's go ahead and save this conventional fees. Press OK. And sometimes you want to create fees for purchase and refi. You know, want to have owner's title versus the refi not having it. So you can create multiple different types of fee templates. So I'm going to go ahead and apply to loan. And let's move on to our monthly costs now. So open up those fields. I'm putting in 0.25, 1.25, and MI, well, let's just use 0.66. And now let's talk about the MI cutoff month and percentage. So say I have a policy that says I have to have a minimum of 2 years of MI. I put the 24 months in. And then on the 25th month, the system starts looking at that LTV percentage to see if MI is dropped from the loan. So that's how those two fields work with each other. Reserves, 2 months taxes, or 2 months hazard, 4 months taxes, and 12 months premium. You can key up to 4 products. It can continue going, but for this purpose, this training, we're going to just stop with the FHA and VA. So now let's dive into our analysis screen. In our analysis screen, you have a property appreciation rate field. Put what defaults to 3, put whatever is in your area. The short-term and long-term fields. Short-term is the lower left-hand, long-term is the lower right. But this is the conversation that you have with the borrower. So if they're going to be in the house for 7 years, you might want to show that short-term over that period of time. Maybe they have to move in 4 years. So you can see how holding that conversation, how you can adjust the report to your client. Same with the long term. It is in years, but you can change that as well. I could put 10, and it shows the numbers for that. Say I want the full term of the loan and be able to show how much interest and MIs paid. As I mentioned, you have your total principal paid as well if you wanted to show that, as well as total net worth. Total net worth is good when you use the Reinvestment Strategy screen. So if I click on that, you'll see a new matrix, and this is where you add money toward principal to pay off the loan quicker. So say if I put in an additional $100, or you could put that $42.45 as your additional amount, because this also shows apples to apples in payments. You'll notice that the freedom point has just changed. So they'll have, if they made that same payment, it'll be paid off in 28 years. So I'll show you how that process works. We also have it where you can reinvest your mortgage insurance once it's dropped from the loan, and I just double-clicked on that field to get here, or do lump sum payments. And we have a great video tutorial that will walk you through that in great detail. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK, but remember we have that reinvestment strategy. We're almost done, and we're going to be reviewing that report. So you have your contact information. If you don't know the address, you can always use to be determined. You can also use that line as a information about the house as well as a label. If you have the information, go ahead and capture the contact information. And then the next screen we're in is our presentation screen. And I want to be able to point out, when you hover your mouse over one of the tabs at the base, you'll have jump outs if there's more than one screen for that particular topic. When you click on presentation, the jump out that select report, that's this screen here. And the reason why I point it out is if you're emailing the support, a lot of times we'll tell you to go to that presentation screen. This is where you can unmark a product to remove it from the report. So if you want to, quote, delete, it just removes it. It doesn't physically delete it, but it will not display. So point out this area, and then you have a payment notes section. If you're on an enterprise account, they might have data here for you. It might also be grayed out. But what you would want to do is put something like estimated taxes and insurance are included in your payment. Estimated taxes and insurance. And when we get to the report, I'll show you where this compliance piece will display. Now we're done. Let's go check out our report. If I advance my screen, it's just doing the quick review of each quadrant. To get to the last screen quickly, just hover over presentation and select preview. But to show you the last three screens, it's just a quick review of each of those quadrants. Now we're in presentation. So this is where we're going to talk about how you send that link out to your client. So first off, let's put on a quote date. I'm opening up the calendar and putting today's date. And we do have the option to print and save as a PDF. You want to do it within the email link, and I'll show you where those are located. The email link, you're able to make changes to the report, update the report, and never have to send them a new link. If you send them a printed copy or a PDF, if you make a change, you have to resend it. So the link is the best way to go, and they have the borrower has an option to do their own saving and printing. This is the email alert. If I do not have this box marked, then you wouldn't have the email alert. So always make sure that's marked. And if you put an email address in for your partner or an assistant, you can mark that and they get the email alert. So you can go ahead and click on the button preview, but we can also preview it in our generate link. So to show you this, click on generate link, and what we're doing is getting a link to this report. This is the link that if you copy and paste, that you would paste it in your email and send it out to the borrower, and they would click on it just as you clicked on the report to open up to view it. I placed the link to this particular report in the chat box, so if you want to go ahead and grab that. Now, how do you put, let's review it first. Actually, let's do a video first. So while we're in here, you grabbed your link. Now you want to put a personal message on your report. So go ahead and click on audio video, and you'll see how the report displays. Lower left-hand corner is the record message button. So click on that, and you'll see that you have a video box. Hi everyone, my name's Lori. So with this, you'll notice at the very bottom of the screen, you'll have your record button, play. You can pause while you're recording, and as well as stop. If you want to remove it, just press the trash can here. So with this, you would just go ahead and start recording. You would want to go ahead and make sure you have eye contact with the borrower. This is a way to introduce yourself, describe a little bit about the report, and then do a call to action. So this video will play as soon as the borrower clicks on the report. The video is one of the first things that displays for them. So on that, always place a video on your report. Also, if you don't have a camera yet, that's fine. You'll notice at the very base here, there's a record audio only. You could go ahead and record audio only, and then when you get your camera, you can go ahead and use the camera then. So I hope everyone has that one. We also have a video tutorial on how to use the video. So now going back to Edge, what I'm going to do is click on Edge Live. Edge Live is just the same as that preview button. So that's why I just went ahead and jumped to Generate Link. Let's go ahead and click on Edge Live. There's my video who went ahead and popped up there. And so now with the report, let's talk about the highlighting aspect and Edge Live. So we already covered the report at the very beginning. And now what I want to do is click on the Share button. I'm grabbing my link. And now I'm opening a new tab. So this is just as if the borrower went ahead and clicked on that link and now is looking at the report. First item is the disclosure, I understand, and you see how the video then comes up. I'm going to go ahead and place this side by side so you can watch now Edge Live. So just give me one moment. I'm setting up her screen so you can see a side-by-side comparison with the two and see what the borrower sees. Okay, we have our two reports side by side. So the difference, which one's the borrower report? An easy way to see is at the very base of this report, you'll see a Clear All button. The Clear All button will clear out all your highlights. That means it's your copy and you can do any functions with it, opening and driving the report. You'll notice on the right there's no Clear All button, and you can see how I could click on the graphs or the fields, nothing happens. That's the borrower's copy. Whereas on mine, on the left-hand side, you can see how I can highlight all over it. And then you can see on the right-hand side how it is driving the report and doing exactly what I'm doing. Now I'm going to that Clear All button to clear out all those highlights. And you'll see how it clears out all those highlights on the borrower side. So this is once you have that borrower on the phone, you ask them to have the report open. You'll be able to see that with how many views if they're on the report. And then just start talking to them about their loan scenarios, what their best option is. If you want to talk about the FHA product, what I did is just hover my mouse over that title and clicked on it, and it highlighted the whole column. Click again, and it removes that highlight. You can also go into the More Info button to highlight fields there. I'm clicking on P&I payment, and you see how it will reflect on the report itself. So I hope this gives you a little bit more of an understanding about Edge and Edge Live. So if we had the mobile app, it would be driving the mobile app as well as we did at the beginning of the call. Any questions on Edge Live? If all understand that? Okay, great. So now what we've gone through how to create a report. You know to take that link, copy it, place it in your email, and send it to the borrower. Before we move on from the report, let me go back to the report real quick, just to show you here on the lower right, that's the option to be able to print the report. When you print the report, it will display what you see on the face, and then the more info will be on the additional pages here, as well as your fees. So the borrower has access to printing and saving just as you do. So always send out that link. Let's move over to Edge. One last thing to point out before I leave the screen, you also have a view history. It provides you your change log as well as read receipts. You have that here. And now let's click on Home. Now with it, just a couple items here, then we're going to go into our settings and show you how to copy. You see your reports on the face here, but you can also click on View All. You can either do it search or click on Search with it empty, and it will list all your files. And anytime you'll see that gray arrow to the left-hand side, it will then open up. You could click on your report. You could do a copy. You could double-click and open up the report. So I want to be able to give you a little bit of idea there about being able to copy as well as viewing every file that you've created. Now let's click on Settings. Let's go ahead and look at your contact information and how you upload that image. So here's the Contact Information tab. You want to make sure you fill in all the information. When you get to the license number, make sure you have that identifier. What is your license ID? Because you just don't want that number out there without the identifier. If this has been grayed out and you need any modifications, either contact your admin on the account or email us at support and we can assist you with that. Make sure you have your address. That will appear on the upper left-hand side of your report. And anytime you make changes, just go ahead and press Save, and that will update your account. Now let's click on the Image tab. This is where you want to upload your image. Just go ahead and click on Browse, find your image, and do an upload. And with your logo, same thing. It could be if you're on an enterprise account, you already have your logo uploaded for you. It also might have you locked down where you can't browse. So I want to make you aware of that. Next two tabs, here's where our templates go. In our Fee tab, you can see here's my FHA template as well as my conventional template. Oh, I didn't put a date on it. But you can see with the FHAs, you could click on it, say your appraisal fee would increase, but I put decrease. You can make your modifications here. If you needed to add additional fees, again, you can modify your fee template here. Remove fees. But this is the quick way of creating your fee templates. You'll see on the lower left, there's a Save As button. That's your copy button. So if I want to create a second template, maybe I originate in multiple states. Here's my FHA template. I'm going to go ahead and do my copy and then just say FHA fees, and then you can identify by state. But when you do that, you can see how it modifies it or copies it, and then you can just add and subtract. So that's how it's really easy to add fee templates rather quickly. If you want to remove a fee template, just on that test one here, you just press delete and it will remove it, or you could press new to start a new template. Now let's move to the product templates. So in the product templates, you'll have a lot of information here. Let's go ahead and look at our FHA. You'll see the title. It captured the FHA drop down, 3.5% down to 15. I removed the rate. I rather key it in. It's up to you how you want to do that as your template. Moving onward, downward, you have your upfront MI plus your 2 months reserve, 4 months, and 12 months premium. Now you look at your monthly cost. Yes, I have dollar amounts here, but it always will override. But if you want to just clean it up, not a problem. I just click on that arrow, just put in my numbers again, and it will go ahead and clear out that dollar amount. There we go. We also, because we saved the template in our products, we tied our fee template to our product template. One thing I wanted to point out is when we put our reserves in 2 months taxes and 1 year premium, it takes that data and puts it in your closing cost templates, and we'll calculate it on each additional loan. So I want to point that out. If you don't want to have your fee template tied to your products, maybe you originate in multiple states, so you'll have to pull your different fee templates, go ahead and just remove these from your product template and apply it to the template, and that removes all those fees. You see how it's all zeroed out. So to show you real quick what all that details, what that template, what we just did, I'm starting a new loan by clicking on New Client. I'm just going directly to my products. You see how I just started it and went to products. Put in my loan amount, $250,000. Now let's pull that template. So I want to go ahead and find my template I just created. You can see how everything just populated for me. So all I have to do is put in that rate, advance my screen, the upfront carried over, my escrows are already in there, my prepaid interest. Now if I go to my closing cost details, you could just easily add that fee template. And you see how you just do that, apply it to loan, and then all your monthly costs, this screen also is filled out. So it's very advantageous to be able to create those templates to move you through Edge a lot quicker, get in and out, and create that report. So now let's go over to our Help button. Let me show you a couple items here, things for you to access. We talked earlier about the Reinvestment Strategy. If you click on Reinvestment Strategy button here, we have links. So these are video tutorials. It's great after hours on the weekends. Just a way to be able to help you learn. This will walk you through how to reinvest MI, lump sum payments, as well as just understanding the way that screen works. You have your quick reference list here. Be able to go to, we have a MC University for a one-on-one series. That's 8 a.m. the first 3 weeks of the month. And it's just all the basics of Edge, different scenarios, items like that. So might want to sign up for those, as well as the 102 series, a little bit more advanced. Those are at 1 o'clock versus 8 a.m. or 2 p.m., excuse me. But just all you have to do is click on that, see the description, and then sign up for that series of classes. Also have how to read the TCA, a little bit more video tutorial. And the last two, before I go into my last two items here, scripting. If you're not quite sure what you need to say or how to send out that link, we have some scripting here that you would be able to use. And also we have a video review checklist on here as well. So I found that by just going to the knowledge base and going, which is our Help button in Edge, and clicking on scripts. Now, I'm clicking on our month event calendar. If you have not already signed up, we have Tuesday coaching calls at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Different leaders in the industry come and hold a discussion. Thursday trainings. You want to continue your Edge training. On Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we do Edge trainings as well. You're on our intro class, and this is where you sign up for those at Mortgage Coach University. And lastly on this screen, we have how to listen to our coaching calls. So we'll place today's beginner's call right here. It has been recorded. We'll go ahead and post it later today. But this is where we post all those Tuesday calls and our Thursday trainings and any additional webinars we may have. So you'll be able to see it here. Yesterday's training we had really dived into Edge Live. So if you wanted a little bit more information on how that process works. So with that, everyone, we're wrapping up the call. I'm going to go ahead and stay on the line for a few moments if you have any questions, but I want to thank you for attending Edge. What your goal is now is get in and create 5 total cost analysis. Just put it in, develop those templates, get familiar with the field so you could just create those reports quite quickly. If you want us to review your report, send us the link. Just go real quick into share and send us that link to the report and have us review it. Let's just take a look at it and provide you any suggestions. So remember, we're always here. Email us at support@mortgagecoach.com and we'll assist you. Thank you, everyone, for attending the call, and we'll see you on our coaching calls and our training Thursdays. So stick around for any questions, and I already got one. Okay, Donna, Encompass. Yes, we do have an API with Encompass, but it is for enterprise accounts. So if you want more information about that, again, email us at support and we'll provide that to you. But we do have different APIs bringing the data from different spots. We work with Optimal Blue as one, Encompass is one, MPC is another one if you use that as your pricing engine, and we have quite a bit more. But usually those APIs are used with enterprise accounts. But we do have a Fannie Mae upload, so I want to point that out. If you, in your LOS, if you downloaded a Fannie Mae file, so if you click on New Client, at the very bottom of your first screen, you'll have a button Import. And you'll be able to go ahead and import it if it's a Fannie Mae file, if it's a proposed mortgage or a current mortgage or refi. So you do have that option, Donna, if you need to. Okay, so I'll hang around just a tad more. If you have any more questions, I'm here to answer them for you. Okay, everyone, doesn't look like any questions are coming in, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up this call. Again, thank you for attending the introduction to Edge. Get into your Edge account and start creating those reports. Thank you and enjoy your weekend.